And that's why, like, today you saw just a ton of stomps. It's like those teams just kind of, made a goof here, and then and then like they make one early game mistake and it's over, and that's just how it is right now.
Hey guys, Parks Owsley here with the Shotcaller, joined by Solo, the top laner for Clutch. That game was super ridiculous. You guys barely made it through at the very end.
Yeah.
You obviously did very well at the very end to like handle this Gnar, secure it on the Mundo, which we've seen a lot. So we'll get into all of that in a second.
Yeah.
But first off, after a crazy game, what is your team thinking?
I mean, it was kind of a bittersweet win because obviously it's good to have the W for, placement's sake. But, it feels kind of bad to not be able to perform at a high level, especially where we think we should be. I mean, this is kind of like a wake-up call for us to, really step it up if we want to make playoffs. Along
with the game from yesterday, I guess.
Yeah, along with the Golden Guardians loss. And some of like the other losses we've had this split has been, less than ideal, so we just kind of need to turn it up.
So you did still keep the 1-1, which, not great, but it's keeping you in the standings. Of course, I say that, and, we're all actually pretty even across the board. What do you think it is that needs to click for your team to turn the 1-1 into a 2-0?
I mean, we really need to, find our identity early game. I think we're just like falling behind in a lot of areas and then not taking advantage of, potential leads we could get in others. So, making our early game better because, in all these games that we've lost, it's clear that we're, the better late game team and our shot calling is great, but some of them it's just, hard to overcome some of the deficits. And also it's hard to beat a team that's like outscaling you as well. So, we got to get our early game back on track, and, we've got to make sure that we don't make any draft mistakes, and I think that's the most important thing for us.
So I've always been curious about what you do if you are a really good late game team. Do you play to that strength 100% and pick a comp that is scaling? And then in this meta where it seems like people are able to snowball easier, is it actually better to just pick 4 early game and hope that you do well and then you're still good late game because you're already good?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixed bag, and it's a little bit dependent on the situation. I think, like this game, for instance, we picked like really heavy late game, but I think we bled out a little bit too much than we needed to, and also we were having trouble finding like a real comeback play till the end. But yeah, I mean, you can really saw it out if you're really good, and you make sure you just give up minor advantages. Like 100 Thieves is a great example of a team who's always it seems able to get to late game in a lot of cases. So that is something we've tried, but you do have to have some semblance of early game to be able to like stabilize.
Okay. And do you feel like in this meta, is that why we're seeing so many teams kind of even? Is it because it's a best of one in a crazy meta and so it's hard to consistently secure wins? What's going on with kind of a low spread? Because we had the 2 bottom teams, Optic and Cloud9. They ended up actually losing today.
Yeah.
But if they had gone 2-0 this week, which they both could have because they were crazy games, they were pretty close, we would only see a 2-game difference between first and last place.
Yeah.
So are there any thoughts as to why that is the current situation?
Yeah, there is a lot of parity in the league right now. I know to fans it probably just looks like a fiesta and everyone's kind of bad. But, I mean, to be honest, like, a lot of the issues just seem... I mean, the play obviously isn't perfect, but a lot of the times, teams just lose in draft, like, really easily, especially in, like, second phase. They just either, like, have a mistake that they didn't see coming or, in hindsight, it might look obvious, but, on stage you just don't see it coming. And... like, it just makes it really hard since, no one's really just outplaying opponents on, like, a, raw level, that if you just mess up drafting a little bit, you just get punished really hard. And that's why, like, today you saw just a ton of stomps. It's like those teams just kind of, made a goof here, and then, and then, like, they make one early game mistake, and it's over. And that's just how it is right now.
So with the crazy drafts then, is this something that if we were playing a best of 3 all the time, like you could maybe prepare better? Or is it Like, what are the strategies for preparing, since it's just a best of one and things change so much week to week with the new patches and stuff like that?
Yeah.
What can you do about the draft situation specifically?
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, there isn't, for sure a solution. I think best of ones are great. I don't think best of threes would necessarily solve the drafting issue. I mean, it's hard to say what the solution would be. I think maybe if people get more used to this meta, and kind of, because you can do smite mid, you can do funnel, you can do standard. There's a lot of options. Maybe if people get more used to it and then things start to calm down, then we'll see less parity when it comes to the league. So.
Okay, and so moving on to specific picks that we've seen a lot. We've seen a lot of Mundo. Yeah. I think every game, if not probably 8 or 9 from this weekend. And we've started seeing Gnar pop up, which seems like a counter, at least in some senses, to the Mundo. Yeah. When are we going to start seeing Mundo banned, or is it actually not worth it as a ban because there are ways that you can counter it? We've seen Aatrox banned a lot. Kind of what's going on with the top lane right now?
Yeah, Mundo it's strange. I think teams will start banning it because it's becoming so much of a nuisance. But it's kind of funny. It's almost like at the moment that there's some type of, gentleman's agreement that, one team's going to play Mundo, the other team's going to play a counter. And it's partially because it's just makes things easy, right? You go into draft and it's okay, at one point one team's going to play Mundo, at one point some teams are going to play Darius or Gnar or something, right? So I'm not sure that's the best thing to do because obviously Mundo is really strong. But we'll see if people start to ban it or if they find better ways to deal with it. But yeah, overall, really good champion. I think it's a bit too safe right now, so I'd like to see, Riot make it maybe a little bit harder to just, farm for free for the most part. But we'll see moving forward how it does.
Well, I challenge all of the teams that we face in Worlds this year to pick Mundo against us. We've got lots of practice against it on stage. So why did that pick come up? Is it just because he is strong, or was it a product of this the funnel strat, and it's he's a safe pick and can farm easily, and he doesn't die as much maybe under turret since your team is your top side is weaker with the funnel? Yeah. Why are we seeing him so much?
I mean, he did get a lot of the buffs with his ulti, and then I think teams just started to realize that this champ can almost farm even just by getting pushed in because he has cleaver and his E is really easy to use under tower. So it's why wouldn't you want this hyper scaling tank that is still good in a split push scenario in a lot of cases that kind of outscales everything. So and with people playing more mages bot lane, it's you have this champ that's really good at stacking MR and against mages. So it just kind of fell into place. Maybe if AD carries were a little bit stronger, Mundo would be worse because AD carries are obviously really good against him late game. But the fact that, AD carries are more, balanced, that it makes him so he becomes almost unstoppable later.
All right. So I guess, yeah, it just kind of fits in. And where do you think you fit in now? You've been starting for a split and almost a half for LCS. How do you feel like you pair up against the other top laners in this region?
I mean, I think I can go against any of them. I know I'm not the most flashy player, so I think I'm a little tad bit underrated. But yeah, I mean, I might not make super highlight plays, but I mean, I'm not losing the game for my team. So I mean, I guess you know, a little leeway there. But yeah, I mean, everyone's playing really well this split. I don't think there's a definitive worst player or worst top laner. There's not. I don't even think there's a definitive best one right now either. I mean, everyone's kind of all over the place in terms of their game impact right now. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna keep on doing my best, and hopefully I'll have some pop off games in the future. So
yeah, for sure. And the casters did mention today that you were coming up and starting to look really strong, and so people are about to start rating you correctly.
Now I'm gonna start getting overrated. So perfect.
Yeah, no curses, no curses. Yeah. Well, so any other thoughts on the current situation, us adapting, the Rift rivals, NA versus EU? Any general game thoughts?
I mean, I would just say that I think NA is a lot better than how we're looking lately. So, hold on, maintain your faith. I'm not going to say we're going to win Worlds or anything, but I think a little bit more time, a little bit, people getting a little bit more used to the meta. I think, strong teams will start to, pull away from the pack. And, we'll see a spread in the league that, shows the difference between top and bottom.
Yeah, it would be nice to have an 8-0 team.
Yeah, it would be good. But we'll get there. We'll get there. It's early.
For sure. And let's see, anything else before we go? Maybe you don't want to talk about it, but have you gotten to play Aatrox at all? Like, do you think that we're actually going to see him much in the league? I did talk to Lorlo. He said it's probably just way too broken and people will keep it banned. But any thoughts about maybe actually getting to play against the Aatrox or as the Aatrox?
I'm not exactly sure what we'll do next week, but I will agree with Lorlo that, yeah, Aatrox is, very, very strong right now. I mean, it's been a while since, the league has had kind of a must-ban champion, and I think this is one of the best cases for a must-ban champion. But I think the design is really great, just maybe a few tweaks and, changing his damage from being less early game to, like, scaling a little bit more so that, you can actually lane versus it. But, yeah, I don't think in the iteration it has now, I don't think any team will leave it up.
Alrighty. Well, we will follow that. Hopefully he gets a small nerf then, because he is kind of fun to watch.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the conversation. Mm-hmm. Before we go, I will play you in rock, paper, scissors, because we didn't do that the first time I got to talk to you this season.
Okay.
So I know you have some strats, but it is a best of one, so I'm holding on to the fact that the current rock, paper, scissors meta is just too complicated for you to grasp. Okay. And maybe I'll get a win in. Well, wait, do you do it on scissors or on shoot after?
It's 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Okay, cool. We'll do that. Awesome. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Aha! I've been doing a lot of paper, and I thought maybe you were ghosting me, so I switched to scissors, even though you should have done, I don't know, anyway, whatever. Thank you so much, and thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you next time. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching that video. To see more fabulous hair, oh gosh, yeah, please like and subscribe, comment as well. We'd love to have you. And watch some of these videos over here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Bye.